Hi, this is Black Bear Prepper again, and we're doing part 2 of our 72-hour kit video. Now, if you haven't seen our first one, go back and watch the first one. We talk about first aid kits and shelter. Now, kind of moving on with that shelter idea, but kind of in the middle, we're going to talk about hygiene, okay? And the first part of that is the dirty part of it. Where do we take care of our business? So that you may not have a good clean bathroom to go to, or you may not have a person that's able to go out back and use a cat hole or some other idea. So, toilet seat, okay, where does this go? It goes on top of the bucket. It's a lot more comfortable than sitting directly on a bucket, okay? Now, just a bucket, that's not really the best way to do it, so we have trash bags to line the toilet, to line the bucket so you can go inside the bucket. Second of all, or third, we have our blue goo. This is the little stuff you drop in a like a composting toilet or any kind of toilet where you've got, kind of like a camper toilet. It keeps everything clean. Mix a little bit of water in here. These come in packages. I think each one of these has about 3 refills in them. So we have our 3 refills in each one. Then we have our diapers, okay? I don't have any kids that are wearing diapers, thank goodness. But I have relatives right now, family members that do have children that have diapers, need diapers. They might not be able to get back to theirs or whatever it is. If we all put a pack of diapers in here, I guarantee they will be used in any kind of a real disaster. So definitely diapers, good thing here, okay? Next, what's another good thing? Baby wipes. We can use these for all kinds of things. The military uses these as little baths when it comes down to it. Clean up a little bit. This is basically, a scrubber for doing dishes, things like that. Little wire and a measuring cup. Maybe we're measuring out, laundry detergent. Maybe we're measuring out water for something else. It's a nice clean measuring cup. Use it for whatever you need it for. That's kind of important stuff. Next, we have a kit for doing hygiene. So we have some shampoo, toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, and some towels in the back here, all sealed up, ready to go. So keep anything that if this leaked or anything like that, we could go ahead and keep an eye on that. But this is something definitely you're going to want to use. You're not going to have a ton of this out there laying around. If you don't have to put your family's issues onto the system can take care of more people. So something definitely to think about. Next, feminine hygiene products. Okay, this is simple. These are the feminine hygiene pads with a wipe inside of there. Put whatever you want in there. I'm no expert, of course, but put something in there that might work for you, okay? Next, a little bit more toilet paper, some more matches, lighters. Easiest way to light a fire, cheap used lighters. Make sure you got plenty of those. They're cheap now, they'll be expensive when you need them. Okay, we're getting down to the bottom here of this particular bucket. We have soap, sunblock. We have some emergency tape for wrapping ankles, things like that. There's also another pack of tape in there. I like that tape over versus putting a bunch of different types of tape in here, electrical tape or whatever. It kind of works for everything, but also will be used for first aid if need be. I have a multi-soap here, Camp Suds or Camp Soap. Any of these are real easy, and a scrubby in here. We got another thing of Camp Soap in here. Laundry detergent, being able to wash clothing. You put the laundry detergent in there, you measure it out, put a little bit in there, and you wash your clothes. It is amazing how much better you feel after your clothes have been washed. And it's easily done in a sink, and then hang it up. Okay? This guy here, we also have clothespins in one of the buckets. I don't know where they went. This is a hand warmer. So sometimes we're going to be in areas where we cannot get warm because we can't build a fire or something like this. This might be something you could pass around, let everybody get their fingers working again if you're setting up tents. These are the ones where you light the stick and they last a lot longer than the ones where you're going to open up the package and try to get that all wet and all that kind of stuff. These work a lot better, so an extra pack and the hand warmer. Okay? So that kind of takes care of our hygiene as far as doing it with your, as far as shelter. That kind of completes it pretty much completely. Now we're going to get into water, okay? Now there's two versions of water, okay? Treating water and carrying water with you, okay? This is one, everybody always asks, how long does water last? We always go on the principle, if you just put bottled waters in there, it's going to last about 2 years, and then they should be traded out. If you get treated water, sometimes up to 5 years, the little water packets, whatever you might pick, you know, the shelf life is on them. What we've done for our family is blue can water, okay? Now, blue can water is a 50-year shelf life water. The other thing I really like about this water is that when you crack it, it is filled with a inert gas that allows it to hear the audible shh, meaning that it's still sealed, okay? Being still sealed is a great thing. So 50 years down the road, I open this can, I know that it's still drinkable. I know that if I squeeze it and it's still stiff, it's still drinkable. And I do not have to touch it. And this particular one says 2068. So 50 years, don't have to touch it. So this is not a super cheap, but per gallon it's actually not that bad. You're going to pay about $29 a case, 24 cans. We have, you know, we figure about 3 cans per day is the minimum. Hopefully you're supplementing that with water you're filtering, things like that, and we'll get to that in a second. But this is an instant, I've got a wound, I got to clean it right out, sterile water. I have to drink something right now, we're working, we haven't set anything up yet. 3 of these per day, you're at least getting yourself able to get down the road to where then you can set up a water filtration or get to an area where you can you can treat your water. I have 2 buckets of these. It holds about a 5-gallon bucket, holds about 30 of them, just roughly. They're not in there, you know, we basically keep them all wrapped up in there as best we can. But this protects them to be in the case like this. They're also stackable. You can get them in any size. They're made here in California, which is kind of nice, and they have a really great process. Good people, call them up, talk to them. They have a lot more information than I do. This is what we have chosen as our family's emergency water to put in the kit. So keep that in mind. Okay? Then we go, okay, well, what about water that we have at the house? So let's say we have some pumps here. I could use this for siphoning gas out of a car. It's also got a little flashlight in there, you know, something like that. And then we have our emergency siphon. These are super siphons. Get these at Harbor Freight. Watch a lot of videos on that. But that allows me to drop down into a tank of water, a 50-gallon bucket, shake it, and I'm actually soaking up water without me having to suck into it and suck it through, which is kind of cool. Okay? Now once I get that water together, and maybe I had to go down to a creek or something like that and bring it back up to us, you know, I keep these guys on hand. I keep 3 of these in here. They're collapsible 5-gallon water jugs. Could I use the buckets? Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. But maybe I might want to, I keep these in here because I want to keep this separate and keep all my gear still in my buckets. I don't have to dump everything out of a bucket and go fill it up. So this is kind of nice. Also, I'm going to be using the buckets as part of our filtration here in a minute. So I keep these 3 here. Then we get into, you know, basic small water storage. I keep water bottles. These happen to be full of, they've got Gatorade in there, and they've also got a couple more emergency blankets and some more emergency ponchos, again, sealed up. On the back here, I keep nuclear sickness pills again, and I keep the Catadine water filter tablets, so a backup to everything. You know, 2 is 1 and 1 is none, 3 is better, okay? So we have chosen in our family to use the Sawyer water systems as our main filtering system. I like them because they have no moving parts, they're easy, and they're cheap, okay? So we keep 2 of them. We keep one of the 1,000,000-gallon water filters, the all-in-one kit that comes with the bucket attachment. If you haven't seen that, go on our videos, watch our video on that. And then we have our, we have a second mini as a backup. So this can be used to hand to somebody saying, okay, we're going to separate from the group, maybe we're going to meet back up. I have a second one breaks down or we gets ran over, or whatever it is. These are robust filters. I've used them for years. I'm still a firm believer in making sure you have 2 of every single item in your kit. So there, we also have the bag system, so we can fill the bags up and use it as a gravity filter, or we can actually use the buckets themselves. So we can actually drill a hole in the bucket, and use the bucket as a filtration system. Again, all of that. We also have the attachment for hooking up to a hose or a sink to be able to filter water that we're maybe not sure coming out of our hose. So that's a real simple system. I like them. You're looking at 80 bucks for the all-in-one filter and 20 bucks, 25 bucks for the Sawyer Mini. This is another thing. These are the 5-gallon bucket strainers for paint. I put these in a bucket and I pour my dirty water in there, and then I take that out, and that strains everything out of the bucket, which is kind of nice. Not that it can't go through the filter, but it does help so I don't have to clean them as much. Got some extra Ziploc bags in here and a little game. It's always a good idea to have a game. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this particular set of our videos. Look for video 3 coming up next. We're going to be talking about tools and food.